Children, you know that primitive life evolved from non-living materials by chemical evolution. Later, this chemical evolution was replaced by organic or biological evolution. According to organic evolution, unicellular organisms evolved into simple multicellular organisms like invertebrates, which in turn evolved into complex multicellular organisms like the fishes. The fishes evolved into amphibians, which gradually changed into reptiles, from which birds and mammals have evolved. In this way, numerous varieties of living organisms have been produced over millions of years.
Hello everybody. I heartily welcome all of you in today's lesson. All of us know that there are several microbes, plants and animals found on the earth. In spite of great diversity, we see that life processes are common to all these organisms. All organisms derive energy from the matter such as food, oxygen, water, mineral salts, etc. from their environment. All organisms tend to keep their internal environment constant by a process called homeostasis through a number of metabolic processes which are similar in living organisms. All organisms have the power of repair and regeneration to varying extent. All organisms have power to respond to external stimuli and adapt to their environment. All living organisms reproduce, but their modes of reproduction may be different. These similarities among living organisms reveal that all living organisms have some common ancestry. It seems that a common early form of life has given rise to millions of species through the process of organic evolution, out of which many species have become extinct. Before discussing the main topic, let me share the learning objectives of this class.
On completion of this topic, learners will be able to describe morphological and anatomical evidences of evolution, discuss embryological evidences of evolution, explain paleontological evidences of evolution, discuss biogeographical evidences of evolution.
ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਜੀਵਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਵੋਲੂਸ਼ਨਰੀ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਇੱਕ ਫੰਡਾਮੈਂਟਲ ਕੈਰੈਕਟਰਿਸਟਿਕ ਹੈ। ਐਵੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਮੀਨਿੰਗ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਫਾਰਮ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਜੀ ਫਾਰਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਦਲ ਜਾਣਾ, ਜਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਨਰੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਜੈਨੇਟਿਕ ਵੇਰੀਏਸ਼ਨਸ ਜਾਂ ਅਡੈਪਟੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਐਵੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਵਜੋਂ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਮਾਈਥੋਲੋਜੀ ਮੁਤਾਬਿਕ ਇਹ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਬ੍ਰਹਮਾ ਨੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਸ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਟੀ ਦੀ ਰਚਨਾ ਕੀਤੀ, ਪਰ 6th ਸੈਂਚੁਰੀ BC ਵਿੱਚ ਗ੍ਰੀਕ ਫਿਲਾਸਫਰ ਐਨੈਗਜ਼ੀਨੈਂਡਰ ਦੇ ਮੁਤਾਬਿਕ ਐਵੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਵਾਟਰ ਨੂੰ ਮਟੀਰੀਅਲ ਸੋਰਸ ਵਜੋਂ ਪ੍ਰਪੋਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ। ਐਰਿਸਟੋਟਲ ਨੇ ਐਵੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਲੈਡਰ ਫਾਰਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਡਿਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕੀਤਾ, ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਲੈਡਰ ਆਫ ਨੇਚਰ ਜਾਂ ਗ੍ਰੇਟ ਚੇਨ ਆਫ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਵਜੋਂ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਸਨੇ ਸਜੀਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਸਮੂਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੰਡਿਆ। In today's class, we are going to focus on different evidences of evolution. So let us explore the evidences. Actually, many types of evidences support the doctrine of organic evolution. These evidences are the proof of interrelationship between living organisms of different groups at different times, such as embryological evidences, morphological evidences, and anatomical evidences, etc. Do you know how can we get the evidences? Actually, we start the comparisons between the past and present morphology and anatomy or structure of an organism. We collect the data from various sources such as fossils and various aspects such as forelimbs in vertebrates. Overall, we can say that comparative study of the morphology and anatomy of animals and plants shows that certain structural features are basically similar, such as homologous organs. Do you know what are homologous organs? The structures which are different in appearance and perform different functions but have similar basic structure and developmental origin are called homologous organs. For example, forelimbs in vertebrates.
Let us compare the forelimb of different vertebrates. The forelimb of man, the wings of bat, paddles of whale, wings of birds, and forelimb of cheetah. All these are basically forelimbs which are transformed into different shapes to perform different functions. In each case, these forelimbs consist of upper arm having a single bone, humerus, forearm having two bones, radius and ulna, hands having carpals in the wrist, metacarpals in the palm, phalanges in the digits or fingers. What do you find common in all these structures in different organisms? These all are homologous organs because here we see that anatomically all are same but have different appearance and perform different functions. All these are built on the same pentadactyl plan, means 5-digited, though modified differently to perform different functions.
This relationship between these structures having common basic plan and similar developmental origin is called homology. Although different functions are performed by these organs in these different vertebrates, these structures might have diverged due to their requirement to perform specific function. Presence of homologous organs confirms that there is a common ancestry and interrelationship. Another example of homologous organs in plants are thorns of bougainvillea and tendrils of cucurbita. Both are leaf modifications, but thorns in bougainvillea are for protection, whereas tendrils of cucurbita give excellent support to them. Homology is based on divergent evolution. Divergent evolution occurs when some characteristic features have a common evolutionary origin. In spite of having a common evolutionary origin, the features are diverging in structure and function, basically due to adaptations. As we have seen the limbs as one example, the forelimbs of different species have a common origin, but have somewhat diverged in structure and function. आओ एक उदाहरण ਦੇ ਨਾਲ divergent evolution ਨੂੰ clarify ਕਰੀਏ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਮਨੁੱਖੀ ਪੈਰ ਬਾਂਦਰ ਦੇ ਪੈਰ ਤੋਂ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਦਕਿ ਦੋਵੇਂ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮੇਟ ਐਂਸੈਸਟਰੀ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਅਨੁਮਾਨ ਲਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਨਵੀਂ ਸਪੀਸ਼ੀਜ਼ ਭਾਵ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਹੋਏ ਤਾਂ ਲੋੜ ਮੁਤਾਬਿਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਣਤਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਦਲਾਵ ਆ ਗਿਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਪੇੜਾਂ ਤੇ ਸਵਿੰਗ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਤੇ ਸਿੱਧੇ ਤੁਰ ਸਕਣ ਲਈ ਅਤੇ ਸਪੀਡ ਅਤੇ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਲਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਲਟਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਸੀ। ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਟਸ ਜਲਦੀ ਹੀ ਕੈਰੈਕਟਰਿਸਟਿਕਸ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਨ। ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਲੋੜ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਅੰਗਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਿਕਸਿਤ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਨ। ਦੂਜੇ ਸ਼ਬਦਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਦੋਹਾਂ ਵਰਟੀਬ੍ਰੇਟਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਰਗਨ ਦਾ origin ਤਾਂ ਸੇਮ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਸਰਵਾਈਵਲ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਸਟਰਕਚਰ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। I hope concept of divergent evolution is clear to all of you. Now let us explore about the convergent evolution. Convergent evolution is just opposite to divergent evolution. It is the process where not so closely related organisms start showing similar traits just to adapt to surroundings. Actually, convergent evolution represents a phenomenon when two distinct species with differing ancestries evolve to display similar functional physical features. For example, the wings of all flying animals such as birds, bats, and pterosaurs are very similar because they all follow the same law of aerodynamics. I hope you remember what determines law of aerodynamics. As per the law of aerodynamics, shape and size of the wing help to exercise movements required for flight. All these characteristics are developed as per adaptive environment.
Wings of a fly, moth, and bird are analogous because they perform the same function of flying, but anatomically they are very much different. Another example of analogy is the eye of different organisms. Just try to compare eyes of different organisms. Look, these are the complex eyes of vertebrates. This is a single eye of a squid. These are the compound eyes, which are mainly found in insects. All evolved independently but perform same function of seeing.
These analog structure evolved due to convergent evolution. Now let us explore about another such example.
Sweet potato and potato are modifications for food storage. However, sweet potato is the modification of underground tuberous root, whereas potato is an underground tuberous stem. Therefore, both are analogous structures.
Apart from all these, there is another type of strong interrelationship which is found among embryos of different animals, providing strong evidences to prove common ancestry. Let us know about embryological evidences through some visuals.
Here we are talking about resemblance in early development and in the structure of vertebrates. This is fertilized egg. It undergoes multiple divisions to pass through development process. This pattern of division is almost common in all organisms up to a certain stage, mainly till this three-layered gastrula is formed. If we compare early embryos of the vertebrates like fish, tortoise, bird, and human being, they resemble one another so closely that it becomes difficult to distinguish between them. These gill slits are present in all of them. Head with rudimentary eyes and ears is another common feature. Notochord and tail can be seen in all embryos at this stage. With this, it is clear that most of the organisms share a common ancestor.
ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾਤਰ ਵਰਟੀਬ੍ਰੇਟਸ ਪਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਜੀਵਾਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮੱਛੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਇਵੋਲਵ ਹੋਏ ਹਨ। ਕੁਝ ਐਨੀਮਲਸ ਦੇ ਐਮਬ੍ਰਿਓਜ਼ ਦੇ ਕੁਝ ਟੈਂਪਰੇਰੀ ਸਟਰਕਚਰਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਜਨਮ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਜਨਮ ਤੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਸਮੇਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਡਿਸਅਪੀਅਰ ਜਾਂ ਰਿਡਿਊਸ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਦਰਸਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੀਵਾਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਇੱਕੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਹੈਬਿਟਸ ਅਤੇ ਹੈਬਿਟੈਟਸ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਸਰੀਰਕ ਬਣਾਵਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਬਦੀਲੀਆਂ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਐਵੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਸਟਰਕਚਰਲ embryological evidences ਬਾਰੇ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਸਪਸ਼ਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ। Now let us explore about paleontological evidences. As we know that life is originated on the earth and it took millions of years to come in this present stage. It can be proved through the fossil records. I hope you know what fossils are. Fossils are the preserved remains or traces of animals, plants and other organisms which existed in past. Or we can say that the evidences of evolution obtained from fossils are known as paleontological evidences. Let us see how do they look like.
Paleontological evidences. Actually, fossils are remains of hard parts of life forms found in rocks. Rocks form sediments, and these sediments are deposited one over the other during different times of era. These different aged rock sediments contain fossils of different life forms which probably died during the formation of the particular sediment. Some of them appear similar to modern organisms. Evidence from fossils for the reptile bird link came in 1861 with the discovery of the first nearly complete skeleton of Archaeopteryx. The skeleton had a long bony tail, 3 claws on each finger, and a mouth full of teeth. However, this animal had one thing, never seen before in a reptile. It had feathers, along with its long bony tail.
Paleontological evidences. The fossil record contains many well-documented examples of the transition from one species into another, as well as the origin of new physical features. A study of fossils found on different sedimentary layers indicates the geological period in which they existed. Another interesting observation supporting evolution by natural selection was made on moth in England. The study was based on number of 2 types of moths before industrialization and after industrialization. Let us see what was observed.
Natural selection. Before industrialization, it was observed that there were more white-winged moths on trees than dark-winged or melanized moths. But after industrialization, there were more dark-winged moths in the same area. It means the proportion was reversed. It is mainly due to the tree trunks which became dark due to industrial smoke and soot. Under this condition, the white-winged moths were easily picked up by predator birds, whereas dark-winged moth camouflaged with the dusted trunk and thus survived.
Do you know why this happened? It happened because after industrialization, these white-colored moths could not protect themselves and became easy prey to the predators. Whereas before industrialization, the situation was different. Thick growth of white-colored lichen covered the trees. In that background, the white-winged moth survived, but the dark-colored moths were picked out by the predators. It shows that population size can increase in a mixed variety because of a better adaptive environment. Now let us explore about biogeographical evidences. The study showed that life forms varied over time and certain life forms are restricted to certain geological time spans. Hence, new forms of life have arisen at different times in the history of Earth. Biogeographical evidences of evolution on the basis of geographical distribution of species were documented by Charles Darwin. He studied the distribution of organisms on Galapagos Islands.
It is believed that around the Carboniferous period, there was a single landmass called Pangaea landmass. Later on, due to various geological changes and especially movement of crustal plates below the surface of the Earth, this huge landmass was broken into smaller land masses which drifted away from one another. These land masses became different continents and got separated from one another by the barriers, especially sea, which now prevented the free movements of living organisms. As these land masses had different environmental conditions, the plants and animals evolved differently.
Now, after the evidences, let us discuss another term often used while studying evolution. The term is adaptive radiation. Let us first know what is adaptive radiation. The process of evolution of different species in a given geographical area, starting from a point and radiating to other areas, is called adaptive radiation. Charles Darwin, during his journey, went to Galapagos Islands, where he found an amazing diversity of small birds. Darwin found about 20 varieties of finches in the same island. They were different from one another, mainly in size and shape, but were closely related to one another. All the varieties evolved on the island itself, but adapted differently in their feeding habits, from original seed eating to insectivorous. Accordingly, the shape of beaks also changed. This process of evolution of different species in a given geographical area, starting from a point and radiating to other areas, is called adaptive radiation. As we learnt that adaptive radiation and divergent evolution are same, because in both cases the origin of the particular feature is same, but the changes take place due to different surroundings or habitats, etc. These changes at times result in formation of a new species, as we have seen in the Darwin's finches example. Another very good example of adaptive radiation can be seen in Australian marsupial. There are several types of marsupials. All appear different from each other and evolved from an ancestral animal, but all are found within the Australian island continent. I hope now it is time to finish the topic. But before winding up the topic, let us summarize what we have learnt today. Today we studied that evolutionary change is a fundamental characteristic of all living organisms, and this change in biological system is called evolution. To prove the interrelation between living organisms of different groups, we need some proofs, and these proofs are known as evidences. Do you remember what are homologous organs? Actually, the structures which are different in appearance and perform different functions but have similar basic structure and developmental origin are called homologous organs. We discussed a very good example of homologous organs, forelimbs modified into different shapes in different vertebrates. We also discussed that homology is based on divergent evolution. Divergent evolution occurs when some characteristic features have a common evolutionary origin. After that, we talked about convergent evolution. Convergent evolution is just opposite to divergent evolution. It is the process where not so closely related organisms start showing similar traits just to adapt to surroundings. Wings of a fly, moth, and bird are an example of convergent evolution. These all organs perform the same function of flying, but anatomically they are very much different. Apart from all these, there is other type of strong interrelationship which is found among embryos of different animals. Then we saw some paleontological evidences also. Charles Darwin studied the distribution of organisms on Galapagos Islands to prove biogeographic evidences of evolution. The meaning of adaptive radiation was made clear by giving examples of finches present on Galapagos Island and Australian marsupials. Before saying bye to all of you, let me check your knowledge about today's topic. Here is a quick test in the form of fill in the blanks to find out how much you have actually absorbed. Complete the following sentence. The structures which are different in appearance and perform different functions but have similar basic structure and developmental origin are called dash organs. The complete sentence is, the structures which are different in appearance and perform different functions but have similar basic structure and developmental origin are called homologous organs. Next sentence. The evidences of evolution obtained from fossils are known as dash. The correct sentence is, the evidences of evolution obtained from fossils are known as paleontological evidences. My next question is, what is adaptive radiation? Answer. This is a process of evolution of different species in a given geographical area, starting from a point and radiating to other areas, is called adaptive radiation. Next question. What is convergent evolution? The answer is, convergent evolution represents a phenomenon when two distinct species with different ancestries evolve to display similar physical features. Next question. When does divergent evolution occur? Answer. Divergent evolution occurs when some characteristic features have a common evolutionary origin. The next question is, who studied the distribution of organisms on Galapagos Islands to prove biogeographic evidences of evolution? Yes, it is Charles Darwin. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਪਾਠ ਕਾਫੀ ਦਿਲਚਸਪ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ। ਧਿਆਨ ਦੇਣ ਲਈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਅਗਲੀ ਵਾਰ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਨਵੇਂ ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਨਾਲ ਫਿਰ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ। ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।